Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. A very interesting quote by Frederich Nietzsche that sometimes people do not want to hear the truth because they do not want their illusions destroyed. So what does this quote means? इस quote का मतलब क्या है? As we often see that perceptions and illusions are not truthful. मतलब कि जो perceptions और illusions होती हैं वो यानी कि सच नहीं होता, यानी कि वो truth नहीं होता. And people try to live in their own world of fantasies and become unaware of actual world of truth. But alas, truth is painful, are bitter more often. I would like to explain this quote using Plato Cave allegory. According to Plato, imagine a cave which is named as Plato Cave. The question is that what is happening inside the cave? The prisoners are chained in such a way that the only thing that they can see is the shadow on their front wall. Behind them there is a roadway, and after that there is a fire. With the help of the shadows, they are making guess that animals are passing in the back. Unaware of truth, who is passing behind them? And they are considering the source of light, the only source of light is fire burning behind them. Later on, one of them got freedom. Outside the cave, he came to know that the reality is totally opposite. As the real source of light is not the fire, it is the sun. It is real source of light. Then he tells the reality to the rest of the prisoners. They get angered and are feeling uncomfortable to accept the reality. They are not trying to agree with the real definition of knowledge and truth. The only truth is the knowledge of their own. So, in this allegory of cave, Plato distinguishes between the people who make sensory knowledge for the truth and the people who really do not want to see the truth because they can't bear the truth, because they cannot bear a single word opposite to their own knowledge. And Frederich Nietzsche also wants to show that if someone is not understanding the definition of the truth, that it doesn't mean that reality does not exist, but reality exists. This is the point that I want to elaborate. The actual definition of truth for prisoners is what they see on the front wall, a shadow. Moreover, what they are doing, what we are doing, we are considering our opinions as actual definition of truth. I can add there, we are living in bubbles, as the life of the bubble is too short, as it separates us from reality. Reality, as we do not want to realize what is happening outside the bubble. On the other hand, we can also relate this Nietzsche's quote with novel Animal Farm, as there are many examples. Time to time, boxer realizes that things that are happening are not good for them. But he always says, I will work harder, and Napoleon is always right. According to him, it is a sense of insecurity to think Napoleon as wrong. I'm not taking all the examples of boxer. We can also see many characters, mostly characters of Animal Farm, feels what is happening and is opposite to the commandments, but they had not given importance to reality because they are feeling insecure by thinking this will challenge animalism. Here, squalor, ironical quotes are also important. You do not actually want Mr. Jones back. You do not want to challenge our rules. Then mostly animal sense of reality becomes restricted to their falsehood and lies. So we can see examples of the character whom pigs are ruling as when they are taking boxer towards the hospital. What was happening at that time? Only one character, old Benjamin, that was a donkey, knows that the van belongs to slaughterhouse. And after some days, Squaler said to them that doctors have hired a slaughterhouse van, and this put a log on their lips. We can also take the example of ships that were totally separate from the reality, but that what is happening outside. If we talk about the commandments, that were also not same, but the characters did not want to get the truth as they were feeling insecurity. If we talk about the novels allegorical perspective, because Animal Farm is an allegory, it is a political satire. In USSR, people had surrendered their sense of questioning, as Boxer is also representing the working class. Although people were not agreeing on the fact that communism is not better than capitalism, as capitalism is also not a perfect system, but they did not want to hear that the actual system of communism given by the Karl Marx in 1848 did not have any link with the present system. They did not want to know the Stalin's role is not good, as the system was dissolving into autocracy and totalitarianism. People did not want to know that the actual role of Stalin, and they had considered the system as it is following the communism. But the reality was totally different. I will talk there about its contemporary example is religion. If we see in the past, for a long time there was a clash between the Bible and the science, that either earth is revolving around the sun or the sun is revolving around the earth. So the religion is a prime example, as people were not getting the truth, and moreover 30,000 people were given the death penalty in Europe on this. As I explained this Frederich Nietzsche's quote with Plato Cave allegory by giving different examples of the novel Animal Farm and explaining it through the Russian Revolution through contemporary examples. Now I want to sum up this Frederich Nietzsche's quote that sometimes people do not want to hear the truth because they do not want their illusions destroyed. I want to say that sometimes people tend to dwell in the imaginary realm and do not want to come out of it, as it makes them obvious, and not to be aware of the bitterness of truth because it is painful or bitter more often. That's all.